All right, welcome back, and I am here with Rogue. So, Rogue, in its core set, it seemingly lost a lot of its really powerful stuff. There's no sap, there's no kidnapper, there's no abyss. They seemingly lost a lot of really powerful stuff, but it really didn't lose all that much because Rogue was never a Rogue. Like all those cards were already gone, basically. If we go to HS Replay, we go to Arena, we go to Rogue, we take a look at class cards. Let's take a look at some of the best cards here. Uh, last 14 days, because that'll make it stand out. All right. So you see here, Sap, right? Sap, one of the best cards there is for Rogue, shows up in 2.6% of decks. Compare this to Cursed Vagrant, which shows up in 48% of decks. And actually more than that because you multiply this by 1.3. So really the number here is going to be something like 60% of decks. So 60% of decks, you're going to get probably 0.6 Cursed Vagrants if you take every single one, and you're going to get 2.6 saps. So there, you're getting more. Like the offering rates of sap have been reduced to like maybe 3 or 2% of what it should be reduced to. Similarly, we take a look here. We got Kidnapper, which is a really powerful card because of the sap to return a death rattle things to your opponent's hand. That's at 1.3%. That's lower than Vilespine. Like Vilespine, like Vilespine's here. Okay, if we take a look, what's the most? If we go to epics and we take a look at the most popular epic in Row, that's Steel Dancer at 15.3%. So I think Steel Dancer has a bug to it because it's showing up way too much. But even if we take a look, like Malevolent Strike or Secret Passage, it's showing up basically a fourth, a fifth as much as these cards, in spite of being similarly powerful. So the sap mechanic, to return something cheaply to your opponent's hand and not have to deal with taunt or death rattle, that's already been gone. So even though it's been removed from the core set, it's not going to be any change to how Rogue has been played in recent sets. So overall, what did Rogue get for Forged and Barrens? Well, let's take a look here. Let's see what they got. All right, we got Field Contact. After you play a Battle Cry or combo card, draw a card. You're going to get Battle Cry cards. You're going to get combo cards. So you're going to play this as kind of like a combo-ish effect and draw a card. So I compare it to a few cards. Like Elven Minstrel, you just needed to combo it to draw 2 cards, and I think Elven Minstrel ended up being better. This has more potential, but this is like a late game combo effect. Like this is a late game effect you put down to draw a bunch of cards, and I think that kind of hinders it. So I think it's still a 2-star card. I think it's fine because of how powerful this can be when it works, but don't treat this like a 3-drop. Efficient Octobot. Frenzy. Reduce the cost of cards in your hand by 1. So, 4 health for 2 mana. That means the Frenzy's possibly going to go off, especially in the early game. And how powerful is that effect? Uh, so Emperor Thorson was in Arena, and Emperor Thorson was never really all that good in Arena, in large part because Thorson, even like in Arena, that reduced the cost of cards in your hand by 1, often doesn't matter really that much, or often doesn't generate enough. So like Octobot, it's obviously a good effect, and in the mid to late game, also in the mid to late game, this becomes a lot worse. So I think like I don't think it's gonna go off. I don't think it's gonna be that good. Like I'm considering would I rather have an Octobot? Sorry, would I rather have an would I rather have an Octobot, a 1/4 that needs to frenzy to trigger its effect, or would I rather have something like the Hunter Caravan that does hand buffs? And I'm not sure which one it is. So I'm still going a low 3 stars on this, but I recognize that I might be overrating this, and I'm really down on the card overall. Silverleaf Poison. Give your weapon after hero attacks, draw a card. So one of the changes they made to the core set was, if we go over here, Assassin's Blade is a 2/5. So Assassin's Blade as a 2/5 is probably worse than a 4 mana 2/5 is worse than a 5 mana 3/4. But if you get poisons, Assassin's Blade may not be all that bad. So this card, it's 2 mana, draw 2 cards over a delayed turn. So yeah, that's probably a little bit worse than an Arcane Intellect, but it's still a 2-star card, a card you're not going to be unhappy to see. Wicked Stab, deal 2 damage, upgrades when you have 5 mana. So you know how Vis left? This replaces Vis. This is basically a Vis, except it's worse in the early game because you do play a Vis on turn 4, and when you get to turn 10, it becomes a much better Evis. Okay. I appreciate how like the little gnome here gets not the gnome, the goblin gets destroyed more and more as it upgrades. Okay. Anyway, next card. Oh, by the way, rating 4-star card. No, doesn't need. It's a Vis. That's the Vis is a 4. This is a 4-star card. Apothecary Hellbrim. Battlecry and Death Rattle. Add a random poison to your hand. The poisons are the things like the Nitro Boost poison, Deadly Poison. We'll see soon Paralytic Poison and the Silverleaf Poison. So, poisons, they're not bad. They're like good cards. I compare it to the Zero Toxins. Zero was a 4 mana 3/2 that added a random toxin to your set from, I want to say, I forget the set offhand. I want to say it was Ngoro. Yeah, I want to say it was. Yeah, I think it was Angora. I'm not sure, but anyways, we know how good this card is going to be. It's going to be a low 3-star card, generating 2 things. The poisons are decent. You can always use them with the weapon. They're not going to be useless. So yeah, low 3. Spine Tusk Shank. After you play a poison, gain +1 durability. So you need this and a poison in hand for this to be any good. So is that going to happen? Deck dependent, I would say on average, no. A 3 mana 2/2 weapon is bad, especially for Rogue. And if you don't get any poisons, then this is going to be really bad. I am going to say that this is a 0-star card. And I'll explain a little bit more when we get to one of the other poisons that's in this set. And I think that's a couple cards down. All right. Scab's Cutter Butter. So 4 mana, 3/3 combo. The next 2 cards you play this turn cost 3 less. So what this means is you pay 4 mana and you get a 3/3, which is 3 mana worth of value, and then you potentially get an extra 6 mana worth of value. So you're getting 9 manas worth of value for 4 mana. That's insane. That's really, really, really good. Like when I read this card, when I first read this card, I misread it and I thought it said the next 2 combo cards you play this turn cost 3 or less. So I thought that was that's what I'm saying. I thought that that was going to be like maybe an okay card. Possibly it would work. But for any 2 cards that cost 3 or less, like obviously you can coin this out on 3 and then you can get 2 3 drops with this. You can play this in the mid game and you can get a massive tempo swing out of this. This is easy 6-star card. This is one of those cards where I would not be surprised if because of constructed it gets nerfed. All right. This is why I didn't like the Swine Tusk Shank. Because here we got Paralytic Poison. Give your weapon +1 attack and your hero is immune while attacking. So you can play this on turn 3 with your dagger and you get a 2/2 weapon that gives your hero immune while attacking. Compare that to Shank where you play a 3 mana 2/2 weapon and you don't get that. Yeah, this is just a better version of the Shank if you do not have the poisons to go with it. And this is still not good. I mean, this is still not good. Like when you take a look at Deadly Poison never really performs all that well. I'd easily rather have a 3 mana 3/2 weapon than a 3 mana 2/2 immune while attacking weapon. So if Deadly Poison is not that good, then this is a much worse Deadly Poison. So this is what would I say? Yeah, this is a 0-star card. I say this is 0 stars. I say if this is 0 stars, this is negative 0 stars, which makes no mathematical sense. But the point being, like, why would you pick like this card is worse than this, and this is a 0-star card? So that's how bad the Swine Tusk Shank is. All right, Oil Rig Ambusher. Battle Cry. Deal 2 damage. If this entered your hand this turn, deal 4 instead. So baseline effect, it's a Scorpion. I mean, that's an easy. That's like an easy 4-ish to 5-star card. 5/2 stealth versus 4/4. It's got the bonus effect where it can deal 4 and it can just like randomly win games off of that massive tempo swing. So yeah, Oil Ring Ambusher, very, very good card. I would say 5-star card for that. And then finally, Yoink. Discover Hero Power, set its cost to 2, swap back after 2 uses. This looks really powerful. Looks being the key word here. So remember here, number 1, you're paying a card for this effect. Number 2, this effect is going to be delayed over 2 turns. Number 3, the hero powers are generally balanced around them costing like half a mana each for 2 mana. So like if you look Moonfire, 2 Moonfire is 0 mana, deal 1 damage. The Mage Hero power is 2 mana, deal 1 damage. If you would say to deal 2 damage to something for 1 mana, that's like an average card. So if you get a Mage Hero power, you're dealing 2 damage over 2 turns for 1 mana. And that's not good. Paladin, you're getting 2/1/1s over 2 turns. Like that's a lot better. That's a lot worse than Lost in the Jungle. Warrior, you're spending 1 mana to gain 4 armor. Like you see how bad these are when you actually math it out and realize this is happening over 2 turns, and you realize just what exactly you're getting. Like Druid, you're getting Claw over 2 turns. I mean, that's horrible. Like the one card where this works, the one hero power where this works is really Warlock. And if you do not get Warlock, then this card is complete garbage for the cost. So yeah, I think this is a 0-star card. I think this is one of those cards where everybody they're thinking about the Warlock hero power, and then in reality they're not going to get it, and they're not people until people play it and realize how little they get the Warlock hero power. They're just gonna hate it. All right, that is it for Rogue. Only 3 classes left. The next one up is going to be Shaman. So I will see you guys there.